So Microsoft just shocked everyone with its first in-house image generator. Google slipped its Nano Banana model straight into search. Ant Group out of China launched a trillion-parameter open-source giant to take on OpenAI and DeepSeek.
Hello everyone and welcome to the video. Today we are talking about something very exciting. Microsoft has just dropped the new AI and honestly it is shockingly better than anyone expected. This is a really important update. Why? Because this new AI could change many things about how we use technology every day. So let's start the discussion and find out exactly what makes this new AI so special.
And then Google came back again with a complete overhaul of voice search, removing text entirely from the process. All right, so let's start with Microsoft, because this one caught everyone off guard. Microsoft AI just unveiled its first ever text-to-image model built completely in-house, and it's called MAI Image 1. Until now, Microsoft relied heavily on partners like OpenAI for most of its generative models, but this time it's going solo, and not only that, it's already ranked among the top 10 models on LM Arena, the online leaderboard where humans vote on image quality. So this model is basically a part of a new wave of Microsoft's own AI lineup. After MAI Voice 1, MAI 1 Preview, this one extends the brand into visual generation. The company says it built the model around one key idea: make images that feel authentic, not like the same recycled, stylized stuff we've seen 1,000 times before. To do that, they focused on data selection and evaluation, making sure every data set actually mirrored what professional creators do in the real world. They even worked with creative industry experts to avoid generic outputs. And to be honest, the early results sound impressive. MAI Image 1 apparently excels at photorealistic visuals, especially complex lighting, bounce reflections, landscapes, and natural textures. It's also faster than many larger models, which matters a lot when you're iterating through design ideas. Microsoft described it as being built for rapid iteration, meaning it can generate multiple high-quality images in seconds and hand them off seamlessly to editing tools. Basically, the workflow is create fast, refine fast, and stay creative without waiting around for slow renders. And the model's already being tested publicly on LM Arena, where users can prompt it, vote on results, and compare them with other systems. This phase helps Microsoft tune its safety guardrails, something the company has been under pressure to improve since launching Copilot and Bing Image Creator. Once it clears that stage, MAI Image 1 is expected to roll out directly inside Copilot and Bing Image Creator, meaning it'll soon be part of Microsoft's consumer products, integrated right into Windows and Microsoft 365 workflow. There's still a lot we don't know about what's under the hood. Microsoft hasn't shared details like architecture, parameter count, or training data, but based on how it performs, it looks tuned for interactive throughput rather than heavy offline rendering. In simple terms, it's optimized for quick user prompts, low latency, and consistent quality, not massive studio-level pipelines. That kind of setup usually means a tight token-to-pixel pipeline combined with safety layers that prevent style collapse, where every image starts to look the same after too many similar prompts. What's interesting is that this marks a clear shift in strategy for Microsoft. They've been one of OpenAI's biggest investors, yet lately they've been quietly diversifying, using Anthropic's models in some Microsoft 365 features and training more of their own systems. MAI Image 1 is a signal that Microsoft doesn't just want to depend on partners anymore. They want to compete directly in the image generation space, and they're already doing it under their own name. If the LM Arena ranking holds up and the rollout into Copilot is smooth, this could make Microsoft's image model the default creative tool for hundreds of millions of users. Every Windows user who wants quick, realistic visuals might soon find this model sitting inside their search bar or design app. And while Microsoft's going for precision and control, Google's taking a different approach, making AI creation feel seamless. The company just expanded its Nano Banana model directly into Google Search. The model itself isn't new, it's been around for months inside Gemini and other tools, but this is the first time it's been fully integrated into search through Lens and AI mode. Now, this doesn't mean you're editing pictures right on the results page. Instead, image generation now lives inside the search experience. You open Lens, tap the new Create button, the one with the yellow banana, and you can start transforming or generating images without leaving search. You describe what you want, make quick edits, or build something entirely new, all within that same flow. The rollout started in the United States and India, and for now it supports English only. Though Google plans to expand it to more regions and languages soon, it's not being marketed as a big flashy launch, more like a quiet upgrade that makes search feel a bit smarter and more interactive. Nano Banana's results have been consistently solid. It handles lighting and realism well, keeps people recognizable even after edits, and automatically applies both visible and invisible watermarks using Synth ID, so AI-made images are properly tagged. It's fast, light, and feels more polished than you'd expect for something baked into search. Google isn't trying to reinvent anything here, they're just folding their creative model into the one platform billions of people already use every day, and that move might end up being more powerful than launching any brand new AI tool. And then, out of nowhere, Ant Group. Yeah, the Chinese fintech giant behind Alipay just dropped a monster of a model called Ling-1T. The name literally stands for 1 trillion parameters. It's open source, it's massive, and it's meant to go head-to-head with DeepSeek and OpenAI on reasoning and code generation. Ant describes Ling-1T as a general-purpose model built for complex reasoning, mathematics, and software intelligence. In simple terms, it's a mix of a coder, a logician, and a math prodigy, all packed into one neural network. What makes it interesting is that it's not just another closed-door Chinese model. They actually released it open source, which is rare for a trillion-parameter system. That's a direct statement against how Western companies are locking down their biggest models. Performance-wise, it's already making serious noise. On benchmarks like Live Codebench and the American Invitational Mathematics Examination, Ling-1T scored around 70.4% accuracy, which puts it right next to Google's Gemini 2.5 Pro and ahead of DeepSeek, OpenAI's GPT-5 main, and Moonshot AI's Kimi K20905. To pull that off, each problem used over 4,000 output tokens, which gives you an idea of how much reasoning depth this thing is running under the hood. Ant says this isn't just about speed or size, it's about intelligence that holds up under real-world testing. The model apparently shows superior logical consistency compared to both open and closed systems. It's also the company's second trillion-parameter model, following an earlier one called Ring-1T Preview, which they claimed was the world's first open-source thinking model. So what's happening here is a pretty clear shift. China isn't just building big models for its own market anymore. By open sourcing something at this scale, Ant Group is signaling that they want to play on the global stage. Not just catch up, but compete directly with the biggest Western labs. And this time, they're doing it with transparency. While OpenAI is moving deeper into closed-door research, Ant is betting on openness and community contribution. If Ling-1T holds its ground, it could push the entire AI race toward a more collaborative model ecosystem, one where trillion-parameter systems aren't hidden behind APIs, but actually shared with the world. And then there's Google again. This time, doing something that quietly changes how voice search even works. The company just rolled out a new system called Speech to Retrieval, or S2R, and it basically skips one of the oldest steps in the process. Until now, every voice assistant, from Siri to Alexa to Google itself, worked the same way. It listened to your question, turned your speech into text, and then searched the web for an answer. Simple, right? But that middle step, converting speech to text, is actually where a lot of mistakes happen. A tiny transcription error can completely change what you meant. You say flights to Nice, it hears flights to Nice, and your results are garbage. So instead of trying to perfect transcription, Google just removed it. With S2R, your voice doesn't get converted into words anymore, it gets turned into what's called an embedding, basically a mathematical representation of meaning. That embedding is then matched directly to information in Google's index. In other words, the system doesn't care how you phrase the question, it cares what you meant, and Google calls it a move away from transcript fidelity and toward retrieval intent. They're no longer optimizing for how accurately they can type out what you said, but for how well they can understand what you're asking for. S2R uses a dual encoder system where one model turns your voice into an intent-based embedding and another does the same for web documents, matching meanings instead of words. It streams audio in real time, finds relevant results, and passes them through Google's usual ranking system. In tests across 17 languages, it outperformed the old speech-to-text method and came close to human-level perfect transcript accuracy. So this basically proves that understanding intent matters more than perfect wording, especially across different languages and accents. Google's tests also showed that lower transcription error rates didn't always mean better search results, which explains why improving voice search accuracy had started to hit a ceiling. S2R breaks that ceiling entirely. To back up this shift, Google also released a public dataset called Simple Voice Questions, hosted on Hugging Face, covering 26 locales and 17 languages. It includes recordings under all sorts of conditions, clean audio, background chatter, traffic, even TV noise, so developers can test how well their systems handle real-world messiness. It's part of a broader open source benchmark called the Massive Sound Embedding Benchmark, or MSEB, which is meant to standardize how we measure sound-based AI systems. So the next time you ask Google a question out loud and it just nails the answer without misunderstanding a single syllable, it's probably not luck. It's S2R quietly doing the heavy lifting in the background. No transcripts, no middleman, just pure intent to answer in one go. All right, so leave a comment, hit subscribe, and like if you enjoyed the video. And thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.